I'm Josh.
I'm Serafina.
Welcome to Pan Poly Plus.
Today we'll be discussing what polyamory is,
We'll give a definition of what polyamory is,
as well as exploring the different ways in which that definition can be interpreted through relationships.
and we'll explore the term responsible non-monogamy.
Quite simply, polyamory translates to poly, meaning many, and amory, meaning loves, to make many loves. All the semantic associations we have with the word, such as those loves being sexual or requited, are actually not defined by the word polyamory. Those are simply assumptions that we carry forth and don't necessarily describe the relationships that polyamorous people have.
The assumptions surrounding the term polyamory can sometimes degrade the concept or even polyamorous people themselves because it's assumed to be something that it's not. Polyamory can refer to all kinds of different relationships.
For example, being loving and intimate with many different people doesn't mean that any of those relationships are requited or sexual. We all have family, friends, and neighbours that we relate to intimately, but if they were sexual, in many cases that would be super weird and illegal. And if they were completely requited, that would not explain how we sometimes get really bad Christmas gifts. For us, identifying as polyamorous simply means that we pursue a deeper and more intimate relationship with the people that we relate to.
Polyamory doesn't subsist with just one type of relationship. So Serafina and I try to not make assumptions about relationships when people introduce us to their significant others. This practice has led to us being more open-minded towards others and freed us from certain kinds of expectations. We don't have to assume a friendship that starts out with a date is going to be a success or failure because it doesn't conform to one idea of what a developed relationship can be.
For us, polyamory started out with trying to be more open-minded within the relationships that we already had with family and friends, and then it developed further. But for some other people, they might start out with just getting groovy with the whole town straight away. And if that's what works for them and all the people involved, then that's great. But like all loving relationships, it depends on the people involved.
Our expression of polyamory might not work for everyone, or even anyone else.
To answer the question that everyone will be asking us, yes, we do have external sexual relationships with other people, as well as maintaining a very intimate sexual relationship with each other.
While some may find that polyamory only works for them if they're having threesomes or orgies or intimate but asexual relationships, or just not discussing their exploits at all, we welcome our other partners into our relationship. We're happy to hang out with them and even bring people into our sexual space. The most important part is that everybody feels free to share how they're feeling and everybody is consenting. We never want to be in a situation where one of our partners is feeling unhappy or like they can't honestly express their needs and expectations. Love and care has to remain at the heart of all of our intimacy.
That's not to say that everyone should follow our format. That's simply what works for us. But as this channel develops, we will be discussing our relationship openly so that you can have an inside perspective of what a polyamorous lifestyle is like.
If you are thinking about having multiple non-platonic partners or just exploring the idea of doing so, it would be important to become familiar with the idea of responsible non-monogamy, which is really where polyamory and cheating differ.
Non-monogamy is the practice of having multiple intimate relationships. And even in relationships where there's a mutual agreement never to discuss your non-platonic external exploits, that doesn't prevent it from being a healthy non-monogamous relationship because there's that responsible element where you've already made a mutual agreement about what works for you both. That's not quite how our relationship works. We joyously and openly talk about everything that we get up to, but that also might not work for other people. That discussion, that open discussion, is not necessarily a prerequisite beyond the point of consent.
The only prerequisite for your relationships, be they platonic, non-platonic, monogamous, non-monogamous, is that they work for you and the people that you relate to.
We encourage open discussion in all types of relationship, and we hope that these videos support that.